So
I want 2.5% now of your 2.5%.
Yeah.
We're all getting percentage if you get this
I
stuff.
don't think he's gonna get it.
He's gonna get it. Welcome back, everybody. Price to Sell podcast, powered by Neighborhood Creative. I'm your host, Matthew Campoli, and today we have another wonderful star in the real estate game, Mr. Ara Khan. Mr. Ara Khan. I gave him my good side. It's the second time I've done this, so he must be special. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's tell the audience a little bit about yourself and some of the areas you service, how long you've been in the business, get to know Ara a little more.
Okay, cool. So this actually in 2 weeks, it'll be 3 years in the business.
Okay.
So I'm super excited. I got started in real estate right after my full-time job. I was in fashion retail.
Cool.
And I was like telling myself, if I could sell a pair of jeans to men that, want to buy like $100, $150 pair of jeans, like I know I can sell like something of like someone's most expensive purchase, for example, right? So I was really believing in myself. I studied, I got my license, and then that was it. And like the first 7 months, I never made no money.
That's like the rule of thumb is like the first 6 months, $0.
And it was bad. Like I was struggling, and I started doing rentals, just to help people get into rentals and stuff like that. So as you already know, it's not a lot of money in rentals, but you do create that, that black book, I guess you could say, of clients, and you start nurturing those clients and you start putting that up on social media and stuff like that. And then one thing led to another. And my first sale was a best friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And he was newly married. And then he was like, yeah, I just want to buy a house. Like, my mom actually got me an agent, but like, if you can help me, that'd be great. And I'm like, yeah, I know everything about real estate. Like I could do it, And so fast forward a couple of weeks later, we negotiated a deal and he bought a house for $700K, and that was my first paycheck. And I was like, wow, like this is such a big paycheck. I could do this.
What'd you do with the paycheck?
I spent it all.
Yeah.
I spent it all.
Standard.
Yeah. I didn't know. And that's the thing you have to learn. Like you have to learn that, you have to nurture that money, save it. I never understood taxes. Yeah. Okay. Cause that bit me like hard. And then I just started spending the money. I didn't realize I got to spend it back on marketing. And so I made a lot of dumb moves, but everything is a learning process. So it was good.
For sure.
3 years later, here I am. I made some pretty good moves, and some people like me for it, so it's great.
Well, clearly, we're here.
Yeah, we are,
You're doing it. You're killing it.
I appreciate that.
And guys, don't blow your first commission check.
Yeah, don't.
As nice as it looks, I did the same thing. I took my ex-girlfriend at the time, dropped a lot of money on our Miami trip.
Oh, wow.
And then after Miami, I was like, oh, okay, what do I have coming in? Nothing. Sick. I'm broke. So
that's how it works, man. I hate it, but it's man. You gotta learn. People gotta learn their own way.
Yeah,
and that's tip number 1 on this podcast so
Beautiful.
far.
Tip number 2: do all those rentals.
Yeah,
they definitely turn into buyers.
Don't think you're too big to do rentals.
Yeah, exactly. So I did want to. We had a nice conversation prior. So you've done a lot of pretty cool things, some really unique things. And one of them being selling to a pretty well-known YouTuber, right? Getting him a rental first, and then that turned into, it wasn't even your goal at the time, but transitioned to a sale.
Right.
But how did you, I want to talk about the reach out. So you reaching out, because you've done quite a bit of this reaching out and like kind of putting yourself out there. A lot of people are scared to do that.
Of course, yeah.
Right? So like, let's talk about some benefits of just simple reach out for you.
So, I mean, I watched a lot of Shark Tank, and like, one of the advice that people were saying, like, listen, like pick up the phone and make a phone call, right? Go email them, reach out to them. Don't think that they're too big. They won't talk to you. So whenever I saw someone in need of real estate or whatever, doesn't matter how big or small they are, I just reached out to them, right? So I DM'd them, I reached out to them. I made sure that I curated a good pitch that was captivating, not just like a hey, and was like, listen, like I can help. And so what I did was I downloaded, this is my secret, I downloaded pictures of listings hey, like this is available, right? Because we can't get their email and send them. So I was like, okay, cool. So I just sent them really, really beautiful pictures of houses that they could rent. And I said, listen, I can get you into this. Mm-hmm. Tell me which one you want. And they're not my listings, but I can get you into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, I love it. Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Great. Are you available tomorrow? Great. You want me to pick you up, or you want me to meet you there?
Yeah.
Giving them the full concierge service. Yeah. It's a rental.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Like, you do the best you can. So we went a whole day spent looking at houses, and, he's looking at like $6,000 to $10,000 rental spots, right? Like big mansions that he wants. So we finally found one, and yeah, so I reached out to the landlord, whatever, we got it. He got it. Fast forward 6 months later, he went from like 1 million subscribers to like 3.5 million. And all of a sudden he's like, Ara, like this is like a superstitious place for me. Like I really like this place. I don't want to move. After moving in here, I blew up and I want to buy this house. Can you help me buy this house? So I was like, man, that's going to be tough. Okay, cool. Yeah, if that's what you want, fine. They weren't selling it. It wasn't on the market at all. And so I reached out to the owner. I said, look, I have a proposition for you. The renter wants to buy this house. What number would you take? You know, and we started negotiating and talking and this and that. They gave me an absurd number and I was like, that's not happening, right?
Yeah.
And so whatever, we went back and forth. Getting an accepted offer was the first hurdle. Second thing is, how do I get this guy who happens to be 21 years old doing 3 to 4 million in subscribers? He's doing a lot of views and he's blowing up. He's making pretty decent money. It's like, how do I get this guy a mortgage? The bank's not gonna like.
It's tough, man.
It's very, very tough for anyone that's even trying to get a mortgage right now. It's tough if you're not an A+ client, you know. So, you know, we structured his finances in a certain way. He had a corporation at the time, and we just kind of moved things around and play. And finally, 6 months later, which was the longest closing that ever took for me. Usually, my closings are 30 to 60 days. As you know. And 6 months later, and asking for an amendment after amendment, like 6 amendments. I swear to God, there's so many amendments.
To extend it.
Like, and I'm like literally like telling this guy, it's a private deal, right? Like, so I'm telling this guy, listen, like, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, I'll give you like the extra $1,000. Please, just give me some more time.
Yeah.
I know this guy can purchase it. I know. Yeah. And the things I had to do, this guy had to fly from US back to Canada just to sign a piece of paper. Like, there's just so many things that happened. Yeah. Without getting into the uniqueness of his deal, you know, like so many things happened. Finally, in March of this year, the house was closed. It's officially his. And that's it, man. 21 years old, $2 million property, detached. It's a custom mansion. Like it's a beautiful house and it's perfect for him. And ever since then, he's been blowing up even more. Yeah. And, you know, we've created a great relationship now. I started helping his parents get stuff, and, you know, I started helping his friends and stuff like that. And that was it. That was a YouTuber. And then after that, I guess BlogTO picked it up.
SixBuzz too, right?
SixBuzz picked it
Very
up.
Very cool. How was that exposure?
Oh, it was crazy. Like, I had people from high school who I've never spoke to in 20 years. Oh my God, I knew you could do it. This and that. And then like a lot of realtors, great realtors that I respect so much in the game. They were like, hey man, great job. Good for you. Keep it going. People who are in the social media limelight, they were like, hey, like, yeah, that's great job, whatever. So people really started to like think that I was like the person to go to. And then I spun it, right? I said, look, like, this isn't about some YouTuber that bought a $2 million house. This is about young professionals, young artists, you know, social media influencers, like those Instagram models, right? Artists, Toronto rappers, like whoever you want to call it, these people that can't get a mortgage because they don't show steady income, or they they don't know how to show
a traditional job.
Exactly, because banks don't look at that as a traditional job. YouTubers, all that stuff. Like, I'm trying to help those artists get into real estate. Right? Stop blowing your money on rental Lambos and like, you know, Louis Vuitton belts. Like, get real estate, right? Save and secure your money, invest it. And that was the pitch. And then SixBuzz blew that up, and everyone blew that up. And from there, it just kept going bigger and bigger. And then I started helping more clients, and I started helping like, you know, guys in the Toronto Argonauts and Toronto Raptors and like just all these people. And
is that from the SixBuzz?
That
article?
All started from the SixBuzz. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's crazy, right?
And this all started from a DM.
And it all started from a DM. How crazy is that?
You just saved a couple photos and sent them. Yeah. Of houses.
How crazy is
that? Nuts. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. And a lot of people just like, it's just like that, overcoming that little fear. Simple DM to someone that, sure, he has a status and he have a blue check mark, but like doesn't mean he's necessarily, you know, he needs to work with a certain type of real estate agent. Probably a lot of people have that same fear, and actually no one's reaching out. Yeah. So to be that guy that actually does reach out, you're probably few and far between of people who he's actually like seeing and witnessing.
You got to remember, everyone puts their pants on the same every morning. So don't be discouraged.
I do different sometimes.
You do it backwards?
Yeah, backwards.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So just like, me. That's me. I'm weird guy. So.
So, don't be discouraged, right? Reach out to whoever you want. Don't feel like they're bigger than you, better than you, whatever the case is. You have something of value. You studied your product, man, just go talk to them.
Yeah.
Worst thing that can happen is you're going to get a no.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Don't be scared of them. Count the no's.
Count the no's. Yeah.
Count the no's.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, again, I just want to stress the importance of the reach out, and we can briefly talk about another opportunity you have on the go.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
That stems from reaching
out.
out.
That was a secret that I told you, and now you want to put it out to all your viewers. That's awesome. Okay, fine.
Can we call it a price to sell official?
Yeah, we can do that.
This is the exclusive.
This is the exclusive.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't told anyone about this.
If you're not paying attention, now's the time. Pay attention.
So yeah, like I told you privately, I have this opportunity. It's still kind of in the infant stage, but I was able to connect with another celebrity client. And basically what ended up happening was he was telling me like, hey, listen, I really want to get into LA. I want to get into the LA market for real estate. And, he wants to also be a citizen there. So what ended up happening was, okay, so a couple of things with immigration and stuff like that I have to figure out. So I hired an immigration lawyer, right? Do I need it? No, but my client does. And I need to do my due diligence to know what he needs.
Yes.
So I hired that guy. Then I was like, okay, like, who do I contact in LA, right? And actually, can I give it like a little shout out of how I started?
Please do.
I actually reached out to another really great agent who's great on social media, Matt Leonetti.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So I reached out. I just phone called the guy. Right?
Yeah.
This is like you taking risks, right?
Yeah,
just go call people, like, reach out to people. And I asked him and just tried not to waste his time. I know he's really busy, and I was just like, hey, like I need some advice. This is what I want to do. So he kind of just gave me some small advice about what direction to go, and that kind of sparked something in me. So then I started reaching out to like big names in LA, like big real estate agents. I'm like, this guy's a celebrity. How do I really like structure this better? So then I reached out to this agent. I actually reached out to a lot of agents, and I kept emailing them, DMing them, and curating my pitch. Like, this is what I want. This is who I have. This is the clientele. Even like my subject header, right? Like, to capture their attention was like, I have a $3-4 million client for you. You interested? Like, that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
To capture their interest. So yeah, started talking to them, this and that. I got her phone number. Then we started talking to the mortgage agent that she recommends. Then we started to do a 3-way conference chat, and we started talking about figuring out a property there. And then, long story short, then I was like, okay, listen, like, you have your own TV show, this and that. My client's a celebrity. He's a celebrity from Canada. You are a US-based TV show. How do you feel about putting my Canadian client, by an extension me, of course, as well, how do you put us on an episode so that we can capture more of that Canadian market, right? Like, what is it in it for them, not just for me and not just for my client, value, right? And so we started talking about that and all that stuff. And then, so we're in the process of trying to make that work. And maybe you've heard of it, but that show is called Selling Sunset.
Never heard of it.
No?
My favorite show.
It's on Netflix. It's really great.
My favorite one.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's really great. And I reached out to Chriselle Strauss. And,
very cool.
Yeah. So we've been kind of talking. I'm trying to get this thing to work, but there's a lot of working pieces.
Yeah, of course.
And that's it. I really can't go into any more detail than that.
No problem. Well, you did 6 months of putting pieces together for your other client there, so I'm sure you'll land this in due time.
I'll do my best. If it's a successful story, I'll come back here and I'll let you know all about it.
Yes, amazing. And again, just reaching out.
Exactly.
And this guy could be on a pretty significant show, and that'll just lead to way more opportunities.
More exposure, more opportunities. Exactly.
So kudos to you, man.
Thank you, man.
So I want to get into the Airbnb game.
Yeah.
So you've done a lot of work there, right?
Yeah.
Kind of just talk about that, what you've done with it, kind of the opportunity there for people as like an alternative investment.
Right. Yeah. So essentially the reason I got into it was because I wasn't making any money in real estate. I was doing a bunch of rentals, and I'm like
in that first 7 months?
Yeah. And this was like, when I got into it, it was Airbnb had already been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a thing maybe 2 years prior to I even got started. So what ended up happening, I was doing all these rentals and stuff like that, and I was helping, and I started to get into touch with a lot of landlords. So I basically approached them, and I was also like, I was in a team at the time, and we were selling condos to a lot of our clients, not particularly my client, but other clients.
Yeah.
And I said, look, market rent for this place goes for X amount of dollars. I'll give you $100 less, and you can be rest assured that I'll take care of it. I'll let them know that I'm probably going to Airbnb it, and that because I'm going to Airbnb it, I'm going to make sure that there's nobody staying in here for a really long time, and this place is going to be professionally cleaned every day after everyone's stay, all that stuff, and you're going to still, your tenant is essentially me. I'm going to take care of it.
Yeah.
Do you want me for $100 less or $200 less, or do you want someone who you've never met before who's going to cook, clean, have pets, have their boyfriend, girlfriend come in every day and just ruin your place, and then you don't know what to expect after a year?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. Like, okay, fine, you can take it, right? So I'm taking on a lot of liability because now I got, X amount of dollars in my head every month.
Yeah.
So I started with 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then my buddy bought a condo and he started doing it, and then I started helping him, and we created a system of how to get into the unit, get out of the unit, structuring, people getting in and getting out. How do we furnish the place? How much money is required to furnish the place? Can we buy it in wholesale? So we buy a bunch of furniture that looks all the same. So I was a junior. I had met with my previous mentor at the time, and he was doing a couple of units, and he taught me how to do it. And then he was working with one of his friends who was a mutual friend of ours. So there was 3 of us. And in total, we ran almost about 40, a little less than 40, but about 40 Airbnb units all across GTA. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you guys managed it?
Yeah, we all 3 of us, we managed it. One of the guys was doing like 11 units. Another guy was doing like 15, 20 units. I was doing about 6 to 8 at the most peak.
Yeah.
And that was it. Running around town, just making sure everyone's getting in okay. Treating it like a hotel system, basically.
Yeah.
And that was it. And that was earning, if anybody who ever got into Airbnb knows, your overhead is anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500, depending on the unit, 1 bedroom to 3 bedrooms. Houses, townhouses, cottages. So that, and then you're making pretty decent money on top of that, right? Yep. So if you multiply it, it's a lot of work, but if you multiply it and you have a system, then it could really work. And that kind of helped me get to the next point. But I always knew I just wanted to be selling real estate and doing all that. I still dabble in Airbnb here and there, but the focus was now real estate.
Yeah, and you gain a lot of experience that way too in your first couple of months.
Yeah,
all the buildings,
of
learning
course.
all the rules.
You know where to go, you know where to park.
Exactly.
You learn how to property manage. You know how to deal with tenants who are who don't care. They treat your place like trash. You start to overcome different things like that. And so everything is a learning lesson. It just depends on what you take from it.
Experience points.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's good for you guys because I just run one. I don't manage it. I have a company that does.
Nice.
It does very well, but even so, I still get a lot of headaches.
Yeah.
Especially with the noise complaints and everything. So good for you guys. But it is a good business. A lot of rules, regulations have changed now.
Yeah.
So definitely some good stuff to know.
And a lot of buildings don't even allow it anymore.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
So you need to stick to the ones that do.
Exactly.
But the returns are very good.
Yeah.
If you do it properly.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my little Airbnb game. I don't do it as much anymore, but yeah, now I'm fully focused on real estate. You just can't wear all the hats in the world.
Exactly. And that's the next part I want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
Is you do a lot of, you're smart where you kind of outsource things. So I imagine you're narrowed down your focus on what's important for you.
Yeah.
And then other things you're not scared to pay for or have someone else come in and kind of manage, right?
Yeah.
So for example, social media.
Right.
You do very well on that.
Appreciate
that. Right, you're killing that. Your videos are good.
Not as good as you, but I appreciate that.
No. My mom still thinks I'm not the best, but sorry, Mom. But yeah, let's talk about I think that's super important in this business. A lot of people like to wear all the hats.
Yeah.
Right. And then they cap themselves on what they're able to do. Yeah. So what has that done for you by now, outsourcing and kind of building your team of different aspects and what you need in the game and what that's done for you?
Well, first of all, if you're approaching anything and that you want to be great in, just stop thinking you can do it by yourself. Nobody gets the credit for doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
You always need a team, whether it's a marketer or with someone who does graphic design, someone who creates a website. Doesn't matter. You cannot do everything. You need to hire the right help that's going to do it. So in terms of social media, I saw social media was great, but I wasn't getting this type of exposure that I really wanted. I knew it was a great untapped marketing strategy. And what I said to myself was listen, I'm terrible with tech. Everybody that knows me knows I cannot function Instagram or TikTok or anything. I can't do it. So I was okay, I'm now, by this time, I'm doing really well in my career, right? And I was okay, you know what? I'm going to spend the money to hire someone to take care of my social media, right? And then what I did was I interviewed a lot of agencies and stuff like that, and I finally found one that best fit me. Agencies, by the way, run from a few $100s to $1,000 to some people can do $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. It all depends on who you're trying to hire.
Yeah.
And so whatever, we found somebody that was willing to do it, and we created basically a schedule. Yeah. And that was it. And so I was like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna make sure that I sign a contract with these people, and I'm gonna let them do their thing, and I'm just gonna let them take care of my social media. I went from a couple hundred followers to over 1,000, 1,800 followers, this and that. Yeah. My videos started getting like 50, 60,000 views.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it may not seem like a lot, but to me, that's a win.
No, it's huge. It's huge. Engagement.
And then so I hired the right help. And what I learned by running my own business and being a real estate agent in Toronto was that you need to hire the right people. You need to hire mentors. You need to hire professionals in the game. Don't be discouraged about, what the cost is or what the money is and all that stuff. Like, hire the right help, right? Hire the right help for that person. Like, I got a personal trainer now, and I'm working out, right? Why? Yeah. I mean, can I go to the gym and pay the gym fees and do it myself? Yeah. Of course I can, but hire the right help. Do what you need to do to succeed and be the best.
And it gets you there faster.
Exactly. That's another thing, right? You're not making any mistakes. You're not having to learn in the way. You're actually learning the right way of doing things.
Yep.
Right. Actually, like one of the reasons why we wanted to get into the more social media videos and stuff, because I was just putting static photos.
Yeah.
And
like most.
Yeah, like most, right? Yeah. Like, this will do enough, right?
Yeah.
And we have to conform to the trends that are happening, right?
Yes.
And if we don't stick to it or we don't keep up, we're gonna be left behind. So actually, one of my buddies, he showed me an Instagram profile, and there's this tall, handsome gentleman who's throwing this bowling ball or something on the couch, and he had this really creative video, and it happened to be you. It was your video.
I appreciate that.
And he was like, man, like, you could be doing this stuff. Like, here's a guy who's doing it. He's young. He's doing it like you. Look at how many views he has. He's so successful. Like, you could be doing this stuff. Why aren't you doing this stuff? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm a little camera shy. Like, I don't really want to be in the face. Or, I was telling myself, like, I don't want to show off.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to show off. And then I got out of my head. I'm like, I'm so stupid. Like, he's doing what I need to be doing. And then, people like yourself, like, really motivated me to be like, you know what? I'm going to do some more videos. I'm going to get out there. And as soon as I promise you, as soon as you get through the first one, the second one gets easier. Yeah. And the third one gets easier. And then you're not so shy anymore. And then you're like, I'm going to do so many videos. And then it just grows from there, right? And so a huge thank you to you, because you don't know it, but it came from that.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love hearing these things, because, you don't know the impact you have.
You don't.
And I'm sure, and I guarantee you have the exact same impact on a lot of other realtors who are seeing what you're doing.
Of course. 100%.
And you don't even know.
And you don't even know. So that's why, always put out content. Don't worry about how it looks or if it's going to reach a lot of people or how many views you have. Just keep doing you. Make sure you're authentic. Make sure you're genuine. And try and bring value to others. And you'll never know, someone like me is listening. And, now I got my career started, and now I'm here sitting with you. What a small world.
Yeah. And it's quick too, man. Like, you've clearly mastered how to press fast forward on everything and just get to where a lot of people want to be quick. Like, these opportunities you have in just less than 3 years is just amazing. So
I appreciate that.
That's incredible. And by the way, everybody, I am taking 25% off all his deals now because of my inspiration to his video marketing. So just so you know, a little disclosure. Totally kidding. As near the end of the party, I always ask you incredible agents on your take on the current market. I love to get everyone's different opinion and share that value with our audience, because the hot topic all the time is the market going to crash? Where are we headed? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we all do work in different areas. We all have different perspectives, but I want to get your take on what you currently see happening and maybe your next 1 year prediction.
Okay. Man, it's really hard to say, because there's so many people that would be like, would not agree with me, and some people will. And this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who haven't bought real estate. They're like, the real estate market is way too expensive, right? Like, Toronto's way too expensive and all that stuff. And that there's that boat of people that are saying, like, hey, the market's going to crash anytime. They're waiting for it to crash.
Exactly.
They're waiting for it to crash.
Yeah.
Like, guys, if it didn't crash during a global pandemic, and if that doesn't encourage you to get into the real estate market, like if we're that foolproof throughout a pandemic, like I don't know what other signs do you need, you know? Like I just really don't. If this didn't teach you anything, like I don't know what you need. In my personal opinion, like I don't see it crashing anytime soon. Do I see the market maybe correcting a little bit? Sure, but like real estate is an investment and there's no risk. There's no such thing as no risk.
Yeah.
Right? There's always going to be some sort of risk, right? So my prediction is, you know, that you should in a year, especially in a year that I think the numbers are still going to be climbing, right? It may slow down as a rate of appreciation, but it doesn't mean it's not going to appreciate. And if you look at the 40-year history of Toronto real estate, we've been up, I believe, like 6-7% year over year in a 40-year prediction.
Yeah.
Right. Forget the last 20 years, which is even greater than that.
Yeah.
So like, you know, take those statistics, make a judgment call, right? If you're too scared for a 6-7% increase in real estate, chances are you're probably not investing anywhere. Yeah. Right. You're too scared to invest anywhere.
It's true.
Right. So, you know, that's my first prediction. And then there's better areas for you to invest as well. Right. Like GTA is very expensive. Yes. And I would say 90% of my clients are people that have already owned a home at least once.
Which helps.
Which hugely helps.
It does help, yeah.
Because now they have the profit from the appreciation and they're using that money to buy something else, right? If you're a first-time home buyer, to me, it's like you can work really hard and save up and try and buy something in the GTA, whether it's something small like a condo or a townhouse or whatever you want. That's great. Or you know what? Don't be shy. Like go invest outside of GTA. Right. I tell clients all the time, like, look, if you want to like flex your bicep and buy something in GTA, go for it.
Yeah, I like that. Yep.
You know, like if you want to do that, go for it. But like, if you're a good real estate investor, you know, there's no cash flow here, very rarely, right? Positive cash flow, I should say. Go outside, go to Barrie, go to Windsor, go to Brantford. I've always said this: $1 4 hours away from our city, a Canadian dollar there and a Canadian dollar here is the same. It weighs the same. Exactly. So what are you afraid about? Oh, because you can't live there? Okay, you're renting anyways. Yeah. So just keep renting and go and buy an investment property there. You can buy, I've said this on my Instagram, right? On my videos, like you can buy a $300,000-$400,000 house and a whole detached house in Windsor. Yeah. And you can have someone, you know, property manager for like $100-$200 a month. Yeah. So what are you doing? You know, like you got to make your own choices. And if you're not willing to take those risks or you don't want to drive to Windsor or something like that once a month, like, okay, then maybe just real estate investing isn't for you. You know, one of my first purchases was Windsor. Oh, very nice. Because I couldn't afford anything else. Yeah, yeah. You know, and this is coming from like what seemingly to a lot of people think I'm like a super, you know, like successful real estate agent, all this stuff. I'm a beginner in my industry, you know, like I'm a kid in my industry, right? And listen, like I didn't have all the money in the world to go buy something in the GTA. What did I do? I went and buy in Windsor where I could afford it, then took that money and invested somewhere else. Then I bought a house in Caledon, and then we just kept going from there, right? So you do what you can, you start small and slowly, you know, build your way up. Agreed. I like what you said about flexing the bicep, because a lot of people will just wait. They just wait, like, okay, I'm saving my money still. Yeah. Next year, I'm like, guys, but you know the market's still gonna keep going. Yeah. So that down payment you have saved up for next year, still not gonna get you in. No. So people, they need to just like surrender to the fact that, okay, it's not gonna work where I want to be. Like you said, rent where you want to be. Yeah. Right. And just buy where you can afford. So at least get that money working for you. Exactly. And hopefully, ideally, maybe cash flow. Get the right team in place, which we can help with. You know, set them up property management. And there you go. Now your money's working for you. And then, boom, repeat the process. Pull it out, refinance, buy something else. Yeah. And now you're started. Exactly. Just get your foot in the door. Just get your foot in the door. Yeah. That is the biggest point. Yeah. That is the biggest point. So that's my market prediction for now. Well, that was a good one. Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. So thank you. So as we near the end here, I hate this part. So we're not going to end today. We're actually going to keep going for the next 3 days. And see, are you hungry? No, I'm okay. You want to get a bite to eat? No, we're not going to eat in 3 days. We're just going to talk. Okay, well, you okay with that? I had a big breakfast, I guess. Okay. Let's tell everyone, any last pointers you want to give or kind of what you have going on and where the audience can find you. Well, you can find me on my social media on Real Estate with Ara. I'm not on TikTok, to be honest, so I won't even say that. Why? Because I need to hire a social media marketing agency.
I'm not on there either.
Yeah.
I am, but I suck on there.
I need help, is what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So that you can always reach out to me on my email. I predominantly am working in right now because of bigger properties and luxury properties. I'm trying to do more business in King City, Kleinburg, and Caledon.
Very nice.
Which is where I've taken my business now, but you can reach me out anywhere. I predominantly have all sorts of buyers and sellers. I'm still, again, like in the beginner stage of my career, even though I know I'm doing pretty good, but if anyone needs any help with anything, I'm happy to help them anywhere.
Just fire them off a DM.
Yeah.
And it's that simple.
And then Matt gets 25%.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
We already have that in the contract signed.
So
thank you for that.
I'm happy to help anybody, and it's pretty easy to reach me, and that's it.
Any last words maybe for agents? Because you've done extremely well for someone not even 3 years, right? So a lot of agents still struggle on that 2-3 year mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you probably know what's probably holding them back, especially if they've been in already 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe some words of advice for people who might be their own enemy, you know? And not really spreading their wings because of like their fears or whatnot. So what would you be some words to them?
I've had a lot of beginner real estate agents reach out to me saying, oh, you're doing such a great job, this and that, can you please help me? And my only advice to them is get a mentor, right? Every brokerage is going to hire you. Okay. The interview process is so easy. So any brokerage is going to hire you, but find a mentor that is going to give you time. They're not so big or the best in the game where they're not going to give you any time at all. Find somebody that is relatable, someone that can help you, someone that's going to give you time, and learn from that mentor, right? I've had 2 mentors so far in this real estate industry. And I would not be where I'm at without the help with my mentors. So hire a mentor first. That could be a team leader or whatever. Join a team, small team kind of thing, and learn the process, right? Love your craft. Learn the process. Learn the ins and outs, right? And that's it. That's what I would say to any new agent. Don't try and do it by yourself.
Where'd you find your mentors?
I found my first mentor with a help of a friend.
Okay.
He was like, this guy's great.
Another agent?
No.
The mentor is an agent or no?
The mentor is an agent.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a team lead.
Cool.
And a friend of mine was like, hey, you need to go to this guy and talk to him, and he's gonna put you on his team. And after speaking to him and stuff like that, he had so many awesome properties that he showed me, and I just knew that the type of person he was, that's who I wanted to be. I wanted to be a shark, and I wanted to own awesome luxury real estate all over GTA. And that's it. So I was like, okay, if this is who I want to be, this is who I want to follow.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So then I started following him. I was with him for about a year and a half. And then, the beginning of I've quadrupled my business over and over, year after year, right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, I've tapped out from what I can learn here.
Yes.
I still have nothing but respect for that guy.
Of course.
But I've tapped out. Then I wanted to join someone bigger. And now here we are. And I'm it's crazy. I've only joined this team for like 4 months now, and I'm selling like 2.5. I got a listing for 7 million right now. Like, it's crazy. Incredible. Like the exposure to such great things and meeting these great people, and just to learn and embody how to maneuver and talk to the people that are trying to sell these type of houses with that type of money, right?
Yeah.
You have to be a different person. You have to have a great first impression. Everything has to be perfect and calculated, right? So I started learning those traits, and I wouldn't have learned it with my first mentor, right? So I had to get someone new. And so you will know in your career when you have to, step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And when that time comes, don't be afraid, right? Don't be afraid, and just, keep moving up the charts, and don't forget the little guy, and don't forget people that helped you along the way.
Yep.
Be humble. And there's always someone bigger than you, right? So just take it that way. Take step by step.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
Success leaves clues, my friends.
Yes, it does.
So thank you so much for coming on. You've been awesome.
Thank you, man.
And I look forward to coming to LA with you. So I can't wait.
You're
and so we'll leave all your links to the socials in our descriptions. We'll have this everywhere. So again, thank you. It's been an amazing chat. Pleasure connecting. And for all you guys watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Thanks.